What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Dr.DDub here, and welcome to something a little bit different. Last episode, I mentioned I had something special planned for you guys, and this is that something special. Welcome to the Stardew Planner. This allows you to pick a number of different farms and basically plan your farm ahead of time, which is amazing. So I've already gone ahead and done a little bit without you guys. Not too much, but just to save me from floundering about for a little bit. This farm did not, or this layout, didn't include the hardwood that naturally spawns on our farm. And I'm thinking we might end up doing a little bit of building in one of these sections. Probably this top one here. I might leave this one blank, but I don't know how this works. I'm pretty sure, or I'm guessing that if I place a building on top of hardwood, it will just never spawn until I remove the building. But I wanted to make sure I had these stumps in place so I could know what exactly I was doing. But this app or website is really cool. You can place any buildings, all the different type of equipment. You can place trees and all the artisan stuff, which we haven't really gotten to in our game yet. But we'll get there eventually. And then all the different types of decoration and terrain that you can have, as well as, here you can do crops, and you can actually place all the specific crops for each season. Although I'm probably just going to do a generic crop because I don't know what I want to put where. And then roads and floors. Yeah, it's all here. It's pretty robust. It's not the best thing in the world, but as far as planning your farm out, it's the only tool I know of that works really well. You can see down here it's got all the controls and basically what all you need to do. And you can actually save it and revisit it, but I don't plan on doing that. I just want to kind of plan out my farm for summer 1 because we have 1 day left in spring to get our farm up and running or to get it ready for summer 1. So I wanted to do this first, and so when we go back to Stardew Valley later in this episode, we can make progress towards whatever we plan here, and use that day to the fullest to help get ready for summer 1. If this isn't your cup of tea and you don't really want to see how I plan my farm, you don't care about that, I'll put a timestamp on screen right about now, letting you know where in the video you can jump to resume our normal Stardew Valley content. But otherwise, this is going to be a fairly longer episode, and it's just going to be me sort of talking you guys through what my thought process is for this farm. A lot of stuff isn't going to be doable right away. The crops, which I'm going to be doing in this general area, are going to be one of the first things we tackle because we are going to be growing crops in summer, starting summer 1. Everything else, chicken coops, barns, adding our little crafting area that I've been talking about, all that doesn't take a priority, or at least as high of a priority. So we won't worry about, we'll plan it out, but we're not going to be getting to it in Stardew Valley for a little bit of time. So I want to start by adding all of our crops here. And so the way I wanted to do this, I wanted to do a 3x4 grid, sort of. Except I'm already doing this wrong. Oops. I came in here a little bit earlier and was doing some planning just to make sure I knew how to use this tool. But it's definitely pretty interesting. So we're going to do, like I said, a 3x4. And so this is the top 2 of that 4. And this is how wide it's going to be. So that's the 3. And then we're just going to basically do a mirror image of this on the lower half. One thing about this tool is it doesn't show you where you can place crops. Like, it allows you to place crops on this grass, which isn't doable in the game. So I had to go through and kind of figure out where my boundaries were for the soil to grass transition and where I could actually place crops. One nice thing though, and I actually went into the game and was playing around with this a little bit as well, we can place fences and pathway on this grass, which I was worried we wouldn't be able to, and that would totally ruin my flow, if you will. And so this is sort of what we're working with. I also need to make sure I place some scarecrows, and I believe this, yes, I've already checked it. So you can actually toggle sprinkler highlights so you can see where your sprinklers are reaching. I don't think we'll get into sprinklers in summer. Probably fall, though, depending on how much money we have or if we've unlocked the ones we need. We probably will have by then, but I'm not sure. Toggle greenhouse. Oh, it shows it when it's built. That's kind of cool. We'll leave that unchecked because we don't have a greenhouse built there yet. And then bush overriding. I don't know what that does. Bush free mode. I don't know what some of this stuff does. But anyway, we toggled scarecrow highlights. So hopefully when we place a scarecrow, which is here, it should show the coverage. Yeah, that's really cool. So we could... Okay, we can't get away with just one. So this actually works really nice. We're going to place it one tile away in this kind of central area, and then another one right there. Oh, that's a crop, not a scarecrow. And I don't think you can overwrite stuff. You just have to delete it and then add something new. But now, with those scarecrows, we have all of our crops and then some covered. And that's actually pretty cool. It shows the double coverage. I like that. As far as the paths we're going to place, at least in this planner, I don't know if I'm going to do these or not. They don't look that great in this. Like in the game, they actually connect up. These, it's just individual tiles and it doesn't look super great. But with this, I wanted to add a walkway pretty much. I'm basically making a grid around our entire setup here. And hopefully this should work. And now that I'm actually seeing it, we might end up moving this entire thing up a little bit. I don't know if that's something I can do here in the planner or if it's something I'll have to just do in the game. But I'm seeing that we have a little bit of wasted space up here. And I think it would make this area down here feel a little less cramped, which it kind of does. So we want to leave probably at least, you know, if we have some sort of walkway here, probably at least 2 tiles in depth here. And so we could probably move this up 2, which would bring the bottom to here, which I think would look a little bit nicer. Actually, it's going to be going even lower than that because we have yet to add our fence around all this, which we're going to be doing. Just to make sure no grass gets in here and starts hindering the growth of our crops, which I'm pretty sure is a thing that happens. I don't know what I want to do with these empty spaces here, if anything. And I'm also... Ooh, actually, now that I'm seeing this, this could be really cool. Okay, I have a slight change in plans. I had planned all this out ahead of time, and now we're going on the fly from here on out. So I'm realizing that I don't even know if I'll need all these spaces. I'm going to fill them all just for aesthetics. But I don't know how many crops there are in summer. I guess I could look at this. Blueberry, corn, that's 3, 4, 5. Poppy is a flower, so is summer spangle. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? And that's 4, 8, 9, 10. So we'll have enough regardless, so that's nice. But I want to kind of leave this. I'll probably not be changing this up too much from summer to fall. And I know there are some crops that grow on a trellis, which, like our green beans, grew on a trellis. What if we do a row of trellis crops on either side right there, and then we get our fence, which is where? I don't remember. Fence. And we run this basically around the perimeter. I think that could be a really nice look. And I was about to say the only downside to doing this is we completely block off our walkway here. But fortunately, we have a walkway through the forest here. So if we're ever over here, we can easily go around all this to get down here, which I think will work just fine. We placed a well in the middle for our water source. And I'm just placing fence all around right now. I'm going to remove some of these. Actually, probably a few of them. Probably this one right here. Because I'm thinking if I come out of my house and I immediately want to go water my crops, I'll have a walkway leading probably through here and then one will continue straight there, the other will split off down here. And one thing that you guys haven't seen yet, because I haven't done any of this yet, is I'm very much not a fan of just straight lines everywhere. I see a ton of farms that are nothing but like a grid, and I don't want to do that. The crops make sense because you can water in a grid. I can water a 3x1 tile right now. Eventually I'll be able to do a 3x3 area. It just makes sense. But eventually, you know, I'm not going to take a path and run it just down 2 right here. You can see if you follow the lines, it lines up with this path. I'm going to, you know, weave it through a little bit. It'll make it look a lot nicer in my opinion. I'm not just going to run straight lines everywhere. So I'll have one that kind of snakes around down here so I can access it from the side. Going all the way down here seems a little unnecessary, despite it looking symmetrical. But again, I'm not 100% about that symmetry, and that looks really bad. It'll be rotated the other way when we actually do this. And then let's also get rid of one on the side and one on the bottom. Do we want to do it here? I think that makes more sense to do it right here. Maybe we'll do 2. I don't know. This is all just kind of a rough plan. None of this is set in stone or in wood in this case. But we will be modifying this, not a ton, but enough to where it'll look slightly different, you know, off by a tile or 2 and I need to make sure I kind of, if I had a second monitor, I would just put this on the other monitor and then go play Stardew on my other one and just pretty much try to recreate this, which could be really cool. Not happening in this episode. Again, we're just kind of prepping the land for all this, so we'll make sure to clear out all this land of pretty much everything, so that way when we play stuff, nothing's in our way, which would be awesome. And eventually, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Scratch that. One thing I do want to eventually do, though, is I kind of want to put a... Where is it? A shed. I don't know the dimensions of these. Oh, it'll actually fit over here as is. I might get rid of some of this hardwood over here, like the top. At least this one, for sure. But if we do something like that, it only, in this app, or on this website, it only shows the tiles that it's actually physically placed on. So normally you'd see it sticking up quite a bit. And anyway, I'm going to treat that as sort of a work shed. I think that could be kind of cool. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I've never had a shed in this game before, and I kind of want one. You can decorate the inside, you can put chests, you can put pretty much anything that you can place on your farm or in your farmhouse, you can place in a shed and do some pretty cool stuff with. So, not sure what I want to do with that yet, but I know I want a shed, and I think that's a decent spot for it. But that pretty much takes care of our farming area. That's a nice little plot, looks much nicer than what we had before, which was literally just like this. I think this looks a lot nicer. Feel free to disagree. But all right, that takes care of our crops. Let's get sort of a walkway to our crops. Again, this is all, I'm just going to do it all in gravel for right now. This will all change eventually. We will cover all this. We'll do a little something up to our thing. Maybe change it up so it kind of flows a little bit, looks sort of rounded and isn't just a grid shape. And then we'll take this and run it here, maybe go up a little bit. I don't know. This is all subject to change, like I said. And then we'll start bringing one down. I never want to go wider than 2, I don't believe. And honestly, this might be kind of lame. I don't really care. Playing Minecraft has helped so much in creating curved paths. It's amazing. I'll definitely refine that better when we actually build it. But again, this is all just kind of placeholder stuff for now. So we'll run this to here maybe. And then right there. There we go. This is what I'm talking about having slightly curved paths. I think it'll look nice. And also, we haven't added any paths to our farm yet, but if you've paid close enough attention, you'll notice that whenever we're just walking on regular ground, we move at a quote-unquote normal pace. When we walk through grass, we move even slower, and when we walk on a pathway, we walk even faster than normal. So it's always good to run your pathways in a place that you'll actually use them. And that's why this might be changing. I might make it stem off from here because I don't think I'd want to go over and then down. I'd want to kind of make a slight direct line. I'm thinking of using this area as mostly forest. I might turn it into an orchard, actually, now that I'm saying it. So if we had, you know, I'm not going to place all the different trees, but I think this could be a cool spot to place. Oh, is it going to make me place everyone individually? It totally is. Okay, so the seed's there. 1, 2. And again, I'm not going to make use of every inch of space possible on this farm. I've seen lots of videos of people who make their farms look amazing, and they're just extremely productive as well. That's not my goal for this farm. I want this to look good. I want this to be functional and make us money, but I'm not trying to like break the game with how much money we have. I've seen some where they have millions, if not billions of dollars. And I hope to eventually have millions, because there are some items in this game that actually do cost $1 million. Right now, I'm just randomly placing trees. There is no rhyme or reason to what I'm placing. But if we did trees kind of all in this area, see if I can speed this up a little bit. The bottom being more of an orchard there. Again, none of this is set in stone. And the top kind of... I'm on the wrong area here. Just kind of something like that. Make use of this space for trees. And then there are also some bushes. I don't know if I can place those. But the ones that are on our farm, I don't think we have the option to place those. Doesn't look like it. But there's some of those bushes that most farms, they look like this. These up here. These couple ones at the top. There's also some skinnier versions of those. I actually found out, now that we have a copper axe, we can actually cut those down. So if there are any that are in our way, I want to try to leave as many as we can just to make it look still foresty. But if there's any that we need to get rid of, we will to make things work. But I'd like to leave as many as possible. And then from here, we'll also have another walkway that kind of goes up, kind of towards our north exit here. Something like that, maybe. And then we'll also run something over here and up and into our cave, which we don't have a use for yet. But eventually we will, and it'll be nice. I don't know when we get that, but we'll get it soon. I don't know what I want to do here. Maybe I'll do like a small flower garden or something. I feel like that could be really nice. A couple beehives. Again, all of this I'm just going off the cuff based on what I think will look good, and I don't know. I'm already getting a smile right now just looking at all this. I think this could be really cool when it's all said and done. And we still have a lot of farm left to go. So, all right, where are our flowers? Perfect. What would be a good way to make this? I don't want to like fence all this in. And I know we need a couple beehives, and I don't remember how beehives function exactly. So I'll have to do some research on those. Okay, it looks like it gives us a grid for our beehives. So I know beehives, they basically produce honey via the bees that visit them. And I think the area around them that you see on the screen right now, I'm pretty sure that is the range at which flowers will be affecting it. So beehives work better when you have flowers. Why did it... Oh, it gave me a flower afterwards. That's interesting. So basically, you produce honey, and you can produce better quality honey if you have more flowers around your beehives. And so, again, I don't have a clue if we're going to end up doing anything like this, but something like that, maybe. Maybe a couple more on the back just to make it not look so grid-like. I don't know. And I realize we can't access our beehives when it's set up like this, but something like that. A nice little flower patch with a couple beehives. Again, I just want the ability to have honey on my farm. I don't want to fill a giant area with beehives and just sell honey to make millions of dollars. That's not what I'm going for. I'd like to have an element of realism to my farms. So I'm never going to be doing a mass amount of one item in the hopes that it makes me rich, because that's not how I like to play. Okay, I don't know what I want to do. Let's see what this looks like with the greenhouse built. Okay, so we'll lose access to seeing part of this area. I don't know what I want to do with any of this. I do probably want some sort of path leading out from here. And this one might be a single path. Everywhere else we've done 2 wide, but I think this could give the illusion of like you're going into the woods, sort of. And if we do something kind of leading up to the cabin there, or I'm calling it a cabin, maybe I will make it into a cabin, just purely decorative. Put something inside, make it like a log cabin feel on the inside. I think that could be really cool, assuming there is the furniture to do that. Or I might make this into like a storage shed and put a whole bunch of chests inside here, and that's where I'll store all my seeds, and I don't know. Or maybe I'll even end up just placing a few chests in these corners and use those since they're more readily available. As much as I like the looks of how this is right now, I might not enjoy having to go all the way over here every time I want to get seeds. I might just want to access them right from within where I'm going to need them. But yeah, that takes care of kind of this portion. Again, not sure what I want to do here. Maybe we'll add some trees. One thing that we can always do is add, you know, some trees and then let some grass grow in this area. That could be kind of cool. These trees look very strange right now because it's just like the tops of them, not the bottom, which is interesting. But maybe we'll have some trees here with some tappers, or maybe we'll do that up here and then have our fruit trees down here. Not sure. Again, trees are a little ways off. I would like to get a tree in summer though, one that can harvest in, or that's harvestable in fall, because I do believe trees take an entire month to grow. So we'd want to be planting a fall tree in summer. But tree seeds are very expensive. I think they're like, the cheap ones are like 1,000 to 2,000. The more expensive ones are like 5,000 or 6,000, I think. I could be way off on that, but I'm pretty sure they're expensive. Actually, I know they're expensive. Not sure how expensive though. Anyway, I'm rambling. All right, so our next area we want to work on, or I want to work on, is our crafting area. I've mentioned this a couple times, but I don't really think I've gone too in depth about it. And so our crafting area is going to be kind of right here. We're not going to go too deep with it. It's not going to take up this whole area. But basically, I want an area that... Do I want to start it here? I don't know what I want to do with it yet. So this is all going to be very, very rough. Actually, no. I don't like that. And I'm thinking we're going to do it with stone fences. So that's why I've opted for these. But what if we do it with a little bit of grass in the area? I think that could look nice. Or not. I don't know. So we'll have probably an entrance over in this area, and then another entrance kind of towards our front door, so we can easily enter it as we leave our house. Sorry. And so we'll just kind of run this here, roughly. No, one less. I don't know. But this area we're going to use for primarily, it's going to be where we store all of our monster loot, all of our furnaces, all of our charcoal kilns, a campfire or two, maybe. I think that could be kind of cool. One thing I had in mind was kind of making a nice little fire pit in the middle to kind of simulate a forge. Do we have any lighting here? Do we have the fire pit terrain? Would it be on that? Yes, it is. Campfire. So if we did one sort of in the middle, I don't think... Is that in the middle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is middle. Sweet. That's the dead center. And then I've played around with this a little in the game, but if we actually add wooden path, it actually looks kind of cool. We can actually do this in grid format there. It looks... Nothing is connecting. There are no connected textures right now. Usually these will turn in the game, so it won't just be a grid of the same direction wooden path tiles, which looks awful here, but it will look much better when we actually get this going. And then we need to add, it's not a building, it's equipment, furnaces. We're going to make, I wish you could rotate your furnaces. That'd be cool. I'm trying to think of this in the best workflow. Like if we come back from the mines, we're going to be coming in from this direction, so we'll enter from here. Or if we come in from this direction, if we come back from the mines and want to do other things afterwards, we'll come in from here. So I'm thinking having furnaces... I want quite a... why does it keep going back to that? Furnaces... Maybe we'll just do 5 here? Not sure. That looks okay. It does sort of limit... Maybe we'll only do 3 there, and then do a couple more elsewhere. Because that really does force you to go straight in before you can turn, and I like being able to kind of round the corners and go over here, if that makes sense. Same way for this side. So that could work there. And then what if we do another 3 kind of in this... I don't know, maybe 2 more in the corner here? And then a chest for all mining. And so we'll keep all of our ores, all of our bars, all of our coal. And where is a chest? Why am I not seeing it? There we go. Put a chest there, maybe paint it black or gray or something. And then all of our minerals, maybe we'll add, I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then I'm going to add a couple more chests in here just for the time being. Not sure where I'm going to place these. This is all just to kind of figure out a rough idea of what our farm's going to look like. So we'll add a couple chests for, you know, monster parts. Maybe we'll keep all of our resources. So all of our wood, stone, hardwood, fiber, all of that down here. I don't know, maybe we'll keep our sap and our saplings, or our seeds, our acorns, our maple seeds, and our pine cones to replant trees. I don't know. But what else can we add? I know I want a couple recycling machines for sure. I did that the wrong way. I just highlighted everything from there to over there. A couple recycling machines. You can see I'm mostly placing all this stuff around the edge. Depending on how this feels when I get into the game, I might place a couple like in the middle, like a set of 6 furnaces, or furnae. 6 furnaces just kind of here in the middle as like a little island. I think that could be kind of cool. I don't know. What else do we have? So we've got sprinkler, scarecrow, chest, furnace. We need a couple charcoal kilns. We haven't built any of these yet, but if you'll remember, charcoal kilns, basically all they do is you put wood into them and you get out charcoal. allowing you to have a infinite source of charcoal, because every time you cut down a tree, you're guaranteed to get, well, I don't know if you're guaranteed. Every time you cut down a tree, you pretty much always get a seed for that tree. So you cut down a tree, you replant it, you get wood when doing that, and then you can take that wood and put it towards coal in a charcoal kiln. So this is kind of going to be a rough idea. I don't know what else we need to add, and this is all going to be stuff that slowly changes too. We don't have access to a charcoal kiln yet, or we don't have, I think it takes a gold bar to build, and we don't have those yet. So this area is going to remain dormant for quite a while. And this is also probably much bigger than we need it. I'll probably bring this side in quite a bit, and maybe to about here, just to make it look a little bit more reasonably sized. We might move the entrances and the exit around as well. But that takes care of more or less our crafting area. We're also going to have, I don't know what kind of floor, but all of this minus that area in the middle is going to have, that just got rid of something. There we go. All of this is going to have some sort of stone flooring to give the illusion that we're actually doing some like foraging here. I don't want to set the grass on fire over here, which is another reason I might pull this wall in a little bit. I think for that element of realism, it could work a little bit better. But something like that. That's our crafting area for the time being. We might do 2 campfires just to provide more even lighting, because I know these don't do a ton as far as lighting goes. And speaking of lighting, something I forgot about is torches. So we haven't made any of these yet, but you can add torches. Does that not... Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not going to place those, but you can add torches to the walls, which I'm probably going to do. And maybe I'll put a torch or something on the inside. I don't know what I'm going to do for lighting in here yet. It's not necessary, but it just looks nice. And so I'm going to do it. Because again, I like having things that look nice. All right, and so out of here, we need to work on where our animals are going to be next. Originally, when I had looked at this, I thought about doing it here, but that's not nearly enough space. The building itself would take up, I think it's 3 tiles deep. Let's do a coop, because that's going to be the next thing we build. Yeah, 3 tiles deep, and then this would block our view from a lot of this stuff. So we'd have to build it probably at least 2 tiles down, which doesn't allow a lot of room for grass. So we haven't covered this yet since we don't have animals yet, but on nice days, you can let your animals out, and if they have grass that they can eat, they can do that instead of needing to be fed hay, which comes from grass. So they're eating the same thing, just in live form. So this area is probably not going to be enough, and the only other area that looks nice is down here. And so I don't know, as of now, I don't think I want more than 2 chicken coops and 2 barns. The reason for that is you can get chickens, you can get ducks. I might want to keep those separate. I'm not sure. You can also get, cows, sheep. I think you can get pigs, goats. I'm not all sure, actually. I've never gotten that far into ranching or raising livestock. So that'll be something we can learn together. So let's just kind of haphazardly place these real quick. If we do a coop there and a barn here, assuming we're only doing 2, or 1 of each, and then we'll also relocate our silo, which is currently up at our farmhouse, down next to the barn, which, as I'm saying this now, this would need to come down 1 tile just to make that look nicer. But then within this area, we would obviously... Nope. We would fence this all off. I don't know how much room we'll give them, but we can fence this whole area off. I'd like to include... Oh, that looks awful. I'd like to include access to this pond, and this one as well. Again, seeing as how I like the realism aspect, it would give them access to a watering area or like a watering hole where they could drink water, which is something they need to do to live. So if we did something like that, they're now enclosed in this area. We'd add some fences or some gates down here so we can get in and out. Yeah, I'm liking how that looks. I don't know what I would do with all this area. So if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. There are other buildings we haven't built yet. A slime hutch, a stable. Stable is something we're definitely going to be adding. And this could definitely go... In the past, I've always put it up here. It also looks really good right next to the house, which is nice. I don't know. We'll put it here for now. So we can grab our horse from there, which we'll get a horse once we build the stable. And then I'd like to be able to leave room over here because I don't think you can go through gates while on a horse. So if we need to exit our farm any direction, I want to leave it open without having to pass through any gates. So we could take our horse either down and around here if there's room for it. I'm not sure there is. Otherwise, we'd go around the side, go off-roading for a bit, and then probably hop back on the path, which I have yet to add, which I'll do real quick just to give us an idea. But we'll have a path that kind of meanders its way down through this area. We actually might make part of this a wooden path. That could be kind of neat. Instead of gravel, as it goes like through the forest-ish. And I want this area to still retain a lot of the forest feel. We are on the forest farm, after all, according to this layout, the foraging farm. But they're kind of the same. And I don't want to cover up too much of this grass area, because if you will remember, that's where forageable items spawn. So that's something we need to keep in mind. This is taking way too long. I'd bring it down, I'd round it out, and I'd connect it up here somewhat. Something like that. And then this, I believe we can run as well down into the actual exit of our farm, which will look kind of cool and more cohesive than it currently does. And as long as we connect up here, yeah, good enough for me. Something like that. But yeah, please let me know down in the comments if you guys have any suggestions. I'm pretty set on everything I physically placed with fences around it. So my crafting area, my crops, and my animals are for sure going where they are or very close to where they are. Crops is pretty much set 100%. Everything else is subject to change ever so slightly. But our trees... whether we want to do like an orchard and then like all of the tappers on our normal trees, so the pine, the oak, and the maple trees, we can easily fit more trees than are here. This is just getting busy on this layout, and I want it to still look good. The flower section with bees, I know we need some beehives. I don't have an area for like preserves jars, so we might put that in this hut. Preserve jars, if you don't remember, we haven't covered them yet, so I don't expect you to remember, but I think I briefly touched on them. You can put crops in them, both fruit and vegetables. Vegetables will turn into the pickled variants of that. So you put a cucumber and you get a pickle out of it. Or, you know, put an onion, you get pickled onion, whatever. If you put fruits in, I believe you get jams and jellies out of it. We also don't have kegs. And hold on, I'm having some thoughts or some re-thoughts. That's not a thing. We also, there's some crops that look, I think, a lot better as like a field. And they also are harvestable without any mods with a scythe. And that being, I think, I don't know about hops, but wheat for sure is one. So maybe we do, like in summer, maybe we do a wheat field down here. What is that? Did I do that right? Yeah, a 3x6, which can be watered with the final upgrade of the watering can. On either side, I don't know. It kind of looks nice. It fills some space. Not sold on that either. We'll probably, for starters, just stick with this. But maybe I'll add that. I don't know. Things are still going to be changing quite a bit. But again, if you have any ideas for kind of what to do with this whole greenery area around the pond, or even just leave it blank. Just plant some trees, make it look like a forest, and then come down here and this is where I'll collect wood if I need it. Regular wood, not hardwood. We can do that over here. But I actually might do that. But I still have some empty space here. Empty space here if I don't end up doing this, which I don't know. I'm not sold on that. But yeah, let me know what I should do with these spaces if you guys have any ideas. Okay, quick update. Through the power of editing, it is now about 24 hours after that last clip you just saw, and I've had quite a bit of time to play around with this and really figure out how this all works. I was kind of just messing around earlier. Now I actually have a better understanding of how it all works. I made a few changes. I added a bunch of trees. I added a little campfire down here in the quote-unquote forest. Added a couple walkways that I don't know if I had last time. Repositioned some buildings, added some grass, and I realized I didn't ever build a mill, which is something you need to create flour. And so I think I might end up doing this kind of wheat field design with a mill right outside. I think that looks kind of cool. And then I also went ahead and updated the crops to the actual crops I will be planting for summer. Repositioned some stuff and found out that I was using the wrong type of stump. There actually is a large stump that you can put in place. And I removed the one that was right here. But there's also another tool that's really cool about this website, and it's something I totally missed. If you go up here, you can actually render your farm in spring, summer, fall, and winter. But that doesn't really matter that much because we only care about summer right now. So here's what it'll actually look like in summer with the buildings fully generated, the trees up. You know, you can see more or less what it will actually look like. And I'm thinking this is coming out really nice. We still have quite a bit of empty space. You know, we got some down here, up here. It's not all being utilized, but I'm okay with that for the time being at least. It's going to be a while till we get it looking like this anyway. But this is just sort of a vision that I have of where we can eventually take it. But with that being said, let's get back into Stardew Valley and use our last day of spring to try and prep our farm as much as possible for a layout that looks something like this. Alright, welcome back to Moondrop Farm. DDub, flip this letter over for instructions on how to make a super healthy meal. You'll feel energized. See you soon. Emily. We got a salad recipe. And also, the Queen of Sauce was on today, and we learned how to cook an omelet, which is kind of nice, seeing as how I've been trying to get a chicken coop and have been just putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But welcome back to those of you who skipped through that first little portion of this video. I say little very lightly. That was far from little. But thank you for those that did watch. Right now, we're gonna be using today to clear as much of this land as we can, which will happen here in the next like minute or two, to make room for our well. And also, I don't know what the requirements, or not just our well, but our well and all of our crops that will be going in the surrounding area. Sorry, I'm thinking ahead. Speaking of well, I actually want to head over to Robin's today and see if we can't... Okay, today's Sunday. She should be there, hopefully. And see if we can't get the well built. Because that'd be kind of nice to take the time today to plan that out and get it built on our farm, or at least started to be built. Because if we can get that, that'll really set our spacing in place. We'll have a solid concrete or stone reference point that we can use to base the rest of our crops on, because that's kind of what I did when I was using the planner. I went through and placed the well first and then everything off of that well. So we're actually pretty much done here. We got another seed over here and some worms that we can collect. a rusty spur. That's kind of cool. All right, that pretty much does it over here for clearing of the land. That really didn't take much. Let's go straight to Robin's. We need to pick up resources first. I don't know what it takes, so I'll just take all my stone, lumber, and or wood, sorry. Stone, wood, and fiber, I guess. I don't think it takes fiber, but and we'll even take our hardwood just because why not? Where is our stone? Okay, we already have all of it. We'll put up everything else that we don't need. Cool. We don't need that either. So let's go pay a visit to Robin. I'm trying to think what else there is I want to take care of today. Oh, and these are the bushes that I can cut down. These bushes here and these smaller variants there. Those, now that we have a copper axe, can actually be cut down. So if they're in our way, they're going away. But I'll try to keep as many as I can, like I said earlier. But we're doing pretty good on money. If we have the time, which I hope we will, I'd like to spend a little bit more time today fishing to see if we can't get ever so slightly closer to my 10,000 gold goal. Gold. Wordplay. All right. That'd be nice if we can, because buying all the seeds that we're going to be buying, it's going to get pretty expensive. I don't know how expensive. Actually, while we're here, let's also check the house upgrade. I can increase the size of your house and add a kitchen. It will cost 10,000 gold, and you will need to provide me with 450 pieces of wood. Okay, so we definitely have to get chopping wood if we want that. But I would love to have a kitchen soon. That'd be really nice to have. Okay, so we're looking for the well. Okay, we have everything we need to build this. It's 1,000 gold, though. That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm pretty sure we'll have the ability to get enough money to buy all of our seeds. That's what I was saying. All right, so if I remember this correctly, and I really hope I did, if not, I can always move this later. But I think there was 11 spaces between the top of this, so that would be 1 space, 2 spaces, between the top left space and this tile right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Does that look right? I think so. Let's do it. If not, we can always move buildings later. Again, using the same, or nope, not that. Oh, she's already working on a project for us, so the only option we have is to talk to her and purchase stuff. Did not know that. Cool. You learn something new every day. Took a month to learn it, but we learned it. All right, so I'm going to head back to the farm, drop off everything we don't need, clear up some inventory space, and we might go on a fishing spree for today. Actually, is there any more space we can clear up? Or even start prepping an area? Actually, yes, we can. Okay, so all of this, we're not getting any more harvests from it. This is all gonna go away. And there's apparently no sound when you cut down strawberry plants. Ooh, and then I also need to make up a whole bunch of fertilizer. Move my scarecrows. Ooh, okay. I'm thinking of things I can do. Do I cut this down to get it? Yeah, there we go. That actually scared off a crow. That's kind of nice. All right, so again, I don't have a second monitor, nor do I have this thing up. But if I remember correctly, we had a space and then a scarecrow on the top and on the bottom. So space, scarecrow. And then we might even start hoeing some of this today. I do realize some of it will be disappearing overnight, but some of it won't, and that's a few tiles that we can save ourselves from having to hoe tomorrow, which is always nice. Let's get rid of that, clear up some of our inventory here. even though we might be filling it back up with the same items very shortly. All right, what planning can we do over here? I don't want to start on my crafting area yet. I need to have a better idea of the space I'm working with. Or not the space I'm working with, but I'd like to have that plan that I made for reference when I do this section. Because I'm not exactly sure the bounds with which I set, even though I do plan on changing it still. But all right, enough of that. I think our farm is pretty well prepped for summer 1, which will be... I'm really excited for that. But let's go ahead and drop off, heck, everything but our hoe, I guess. Yeah. And we're gonna go fish. I seem to make the most money when I fish up at the mountain lake. I don't know what it is. I guess it's the largemouth bass or the river. I don't know. Normally, I'd ask you where you think I should go fishing right now to make the most money, but this is gonna go. Well, you're not here with me right now to help with that. Okay. Oh, and did we miss... No. We got Emily's birthday. Sorry. I'm thinking of it. That's a good thing at least, right? I'm remembering to check for birthdays. Hopefully these are all the same tier. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. That's a lot of forage. We might sell... Actually, no, we'll hang on to the regular one, sell the rest, like we always do. Why change now? Oh my gosh, there's a lot of daffodils. Today might not be a bad day to also go through the forage. Go through the forage? I can't talk to someone and talk. Go through the forest and see if there's any forageable items. Today is the last day that we can collect spring forage, which isn't like a huge deal. But if there's anything that we can get, it would be here today. Anything that would have spawned in spring. Today is the last day for it. So I'm going to fish for, I don't know, let's say until 7 p.m. maybe? That sounds about right. And then we'll go head to the forest and start foraging. So I'm going to finish up fishing, and I'll see you guys around 7 o'clock, or probably a little bit later by the time I get there, in the forest, so we can do a little bit of foraging together. All right, quick pit stop at the farm real quick. Not a super successful day of fishing. We only caught 4 fish, actually. But we did get a gold tier largemouth bass, which is pretty nice. We caught a treasure chest while we were there, too. We got 2 magma geodes and some stone out of it. Nothing to write home about. But I just wanted to stop by and drop off everything that I can, at least. Looks like we don't have room for quite everything. But now we do. Cool. All right, so I'll meet you in the forest, and we'll do a little bit of foraging. All right. Let's see what we can find, and hopefully I don't walk right past stuff like I did last time. Oh, and hello, Leah. Nice to see you. How are you? Yeah, you have nothing new to say, ever. I really hope there's stuff out here. I don't want this trip to be a waste of time. There better be stuff. Ah, there's something. Nothing. Ah, there's 2 somethings. And some bubbles. If we have extra time, that might be something we do. I don't want to end this day with that much energy, but then again, I did mention that I would like to start hoeing the ground a little bit to sort of till the field. Oh, she's not here anymore. Never mind. I never visit the traveling merchant. That's something I rarely ever do. I like acquiring all the items in this game in their proper season. You know, if we're end of year 2 and we're missing an item for whatever reason for a community center bundle, yeah, then we might. But until then, or unless that becomes the case, I don't think I'll be visiting the traveling merchant too often. But while we're here, let's talk to the Hat Mouse and see if there's anything that we can buy. We're not going to because I want to save all of our money. But there's a watermelon headband, a sou'wester, and a good old cap. Yeah, none of those look that appealing to me. We already have our, what is it, a straw hat? Yeah. Light, cool, and a farmer's delight. Oh, I totally forgot about spring onions. I hope because, oh my goodness, because we haven't collected them ever, they kind of built up a lot. That is a lot of spring onions. Are there any more? No? Oh, I was really hoping we'd have quite a few more than that. That's still a good amount. We're not going to sell those 11 because they're really not worth much, but that's unfortunate. All right, I was really hoping to find like a morel or something out here, but that does not appear to be the case, and it also appears that those bubbles have disappeared. So that's no good. Slightly disappointing foraging run. Nothing real exciting. We did get one of everything today, at least. We sold the leek, but we got one of everything. So that's, I guess, a positive. All right, we've got a little bit of energy left and a little bit of time left as well. So I'm going to start taking out some earth here. And if I can remember how I did this, I believe our first patch started here. And then, yeah, this looks right. All right, I'm going to use the rest of my energy real quick, and I'll see you in a sec. Okay, we didn't get too far, but we got five plots tilled, which isn't too bad. We're going to have to fix a couple of those, patch the holes that nighttime reeks upon them. But, all right, we're not going to make too much money today, sadly. I was hoping for a little bit more. And I mentioned I was going to sell copper bars the other episode, and I never checked to see how much they were worth. So let's go ahead and sell... Let's sell 5 copper bars, and I'll actually make sure to look at it. We'll also sell our quartz, the silver spring onions, and then store everything else. Because, yeah, we could sell some of this for money. But I'd also like the ability to have some of these items in case someone asks for them for a gift or something, or a request. I forget exactly what they're called, but the help wanted requests at the right outside piers. That's what I'm talking about. All right, I'm gonna put this last one in here. We're actually going to put these on hold for a bit because tomorrow in Summer 1... Actually, I need to drop these off too. Tomorrow in Summer 1, we're going to need all the space in our inventory for seeds and... Oh, man. I'm excited, guys. Summer, it's a whole new animal. Or season, technically. Okay, how much money did we make? A little over 1,000? That's okay. So we would have had... What, 8,300? If we had not purchased the well, which isn't too bad. All right, but it looks like our copper bars sell for 60 gold a piece, and the refined quartz sells for 50. So, not too bad. Foraging leeks actually sell for a decent amount, at least the gold tier ones. And then spring onions are worth next to nothing, like I thought. Yeah, for the brief time we spent up there, that's not a horrible haul. We got a lot of junk from that, like green algae and driftwood and pair of broken glasses and nothing super exciting. But look at this, guys. Day 1 of summer, year 1. I am super excited. I hope you guys are as well. But that's going to do it for this episode. And until next time, take care.